Here's the truth. The problem is not you. It's the model you've been handed, the average model that you've been handed. And today we're going to talk about why doing everything quote unquote right can still keep you feeling stuck financially and what you can do about it.
Welcome to Not Your Average Financial Podcast, where we do all kinds of different things.
Thanks to Mark and team for letting us do this takeover episode. We want to start with the reality that most entrepreneurs and real estate investors are living right now. We're not exactly sure when this episode is going to come out, but we can guess that this is still true. Business owners, real estate investors, they sometimes generate $300,000 to $2 million in business revenue. They'll work 60 plus hours a week, and on paper, they're quote unquote successful. But behind the curtain, they're exhausted, anxious, and still living paycheck to paycheck. Those are the people we're dedicating this episode to.
Yeah, so I've had plenty of financial analysis with people and seeing them trying to figure out, how do I make money? How do I have cash flow? And then the other ones that I'm like, all right, we have some cash flow. Money is sitting in the savings account, but they're not actually having a good system to do the right thing. So then maybe a banking yourself type policy fits perfect, right? So they can deploy it and still have it accessible. And that's something that is really interesting because oftentimes we're in this different system that doesn't work with us, it works against us. And we are afraid to even maybe buy eggs. I don't know. Eggs are expensive, but they get afraid to do those kind of things.
Well, let's talk about the oh-so-average financial system. We call it the traditional financial system or the conventional financial system. It's not the timeless, wealth wisdom that we love to talk about, or the not-so-average. But let's talk about the average for a second. It was designed for W-2 employees. It rewards conformity and long-term accumulation, not cash flow.
But does it really help them? I don't know.
Well, but that's designed to at least make them think they do.
Yeah.
And most financial advisors, they just double down on that system. They hand you cookie cutter investment portfolios. They tell you just keep grinding. Meanwhile, your business cash flow and real estate equity, the things that should be working the hardest for you, the financial advisor just ignores. They don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting as you're like Mark, a CFP, and in the world of, well, let me take all your money and put it into, other kinds of stock companies, Ford, Motor, whatever companies. And then we're not really investing, especially for business owners, in ourselves. We're not building a system that helps us build wealth. We're told, just put it in, don't worry about it, it'll bounce back, it'll be fine. Or don't touch it because it's growing. And so we don't know, we're putting into that, and we're not actually putting into our own system that could potentially grow way faster, especially for business owners.
Yeah. And then, here's the kicker. So we're taught to do, the things that W-2 employees doing, but then we're also taught that the answer to the stress we're starting to feel is that we just need to be more corporate in how we deal with our money. We need to be more disciplined, even on the business side, have a tighter budget, maybe, just spend more time talking to our CPA, whatever it might be. And that information, the corporate finance jargon, that kind of stuff, doesn't actually solve our financial stress. It's the nervous system that ends up being constantly on edge, and no spreadsheet is ever going to fix that. No matter how beautiful and color-coded it is. I love a good spreadsheet, but it's not going to fix that stress.
And she does love a good spreadsheet. She makes them for me, all the time. And oftentimes I'm like, oh, wait, I can't even look at this thing. Because I guess my nervous system is different than hers. I don't know. And so what I've learned is we're unique. We're different people. And so how do we use our nervous system? If there's a financial nervous system, how do we go deeper into who we are to become those superhero people financially.
Yeah. So if you're listening to me right now and you're thinking, I that's me. I am not so average. I do not want to just follow the typical W-2 path. I do not want to just even think of corporate finance in my small business. That doesn't seem to apply. Yes, that's you. You're saying, you're shaking your head. Okay, doing everything right, still feel behind. Know this. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're just operating in a system that was not designed for you. But the good news is that system, it's only been around for like 40 to 50 years, maybe 60 tops.
Yep.
And there's a totally different path. You can align your money with your values. You can calm your financial nervous system. You can use strategies like Profit First and Bank on Yourself and our proprietary Still method. You can step into clarity, calm, and confidence. Let's talk a little bit about what that looks like, what that is.
Yeah, I love, like for us, we came into this industry because the Bank on Yourself concept really, having those policies helped us overcome huge obstacles. I don't know, it's somewhere in the archives, our story. I'm sure Mark will put it in the show notes somewhere.
What episode number it is?
I don't know. It's somewhere there. But it was because of that Bank on Yourself policy that we were able to overcome a flood. We were able to not just have it locked up into some asset that we didn't have control over. Again, I was a business owner, right? We still are. But then we had learned about this whole idea of profit first. It's about paying yourself first and making sure you're taking profit. And it's almost like stacking profit first and banking yourself. Those are really powerful tools.
Like habit stacking?
Like habit stacking,
Yeah.
right? But, and again, as I was even at ProfitCon recently, a lot of times they don't know. They know profit first. They've heard of this idea of banking yourself, never used it. And I'm like, well, you could do this and add this. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But and again, seeing those two things align, really great. But what I've found is a lot of times it's the foundation. And it is this idea of understanding who we are. The Still method is setting your sights, tracking your in and out, inspecting your progress, looking for micro adjustments, and living deliberately. Now, that's another system. But again, we said, oh, but isn't there something else? Don't we need something to tell us who we are? Not just the systems, but where are we at in this whole thing? And so that's where the financial nervous system tool stepped in, or is stepping in, to be able to stack, having a good foundation, having that profit first, and banking yourself is an amazing tool that we can then flow the capital money in to be able to do even better and greater things.
Yeah. So think of it this way. When you come to a financial decision that you need to make, some people will approach it purely logically. If we're talking in nervous system language, they're using their central nervous system. They're approaching with logic, does the math, right? Super analytical. Other people will just go with habit. This is what I always do. This is what I'm going to do again. That's kind of like your autonomic nervous system. That's the one that controls the fight or flight thing. It's also the part that controls like rest and digest, right? That's often where we're taking more of a backseat, an automatic habitual process. Good to have financial habits, automate that savings, right? All those kind of things. Then you don't have to be logical all the time. You're just like, this is what I've set up. This is what I determined to do. It works on
It's
automation.
like going to the gym.
Yeah.
Maybe.
For some people. Lately in the last 20 years or so, more and more people have started to get into the gut brain. That you actually literally have all these little neurons in your digestive system that feed back and give information to your brain. And so you want to have some good gut health, facilitate that microbiome, all those things. In financial decision making, that's where people go with their intuition. I'm good doing this because it feels right. I'm choosing to make this investment back into my business because it feels like the right thing to do. Entrepreneurs are really good at just going with their gut. And sometimes that pays off and sometimes it doesn't, right? With your risk tolerance, you do that. But what we're talking about, what that kind of takes it to that next level, is how we actually learned your human body nervous system has another brain. It's in your heart. They call it your heart brain. It's a intrinsic cardiac nervous system that if you get a shock to your system, your heart actually can react more quickly. It doesn't have to wait for a signal to go to your brain and come back. That's really important. Your heart is very core to who you are and how you operate as a human, right? In your body. What we have tried to isolate, especially for entrepreneurs and real estate investors and business owners, is what's at the heart of that's driving things. Now, if you're in marketing, you've ever learned a lot about marketing, you'll know, like, sometimes people just buy and you don't really even know why they buy.
Yep.
We think that's some of what's driving this is this heart nervous system. And so we created a pathway to help people learn what might be driving some of these decisions that they can't put their finger on. Like, why do I always do this? Why do I always feel that? What's causing me stress that's not logical? It's not intuitive. It's not habitual. There's got to be something else. And we're really excited about it. It seems to be getting a lot of great feedback from people. It gets to more of that core values and belief system in a way that we've never seen anything else do before.
Right. And again, I'm thinking, as we've been doing the Banking Yourself, again, we've been Banking Yourself professionals for quite a while, and seeing that's an amazing system. And again, Profit First, we've been doing that for 5 years. And
as professionals, we've been using the system longer. Yeah.
So using that and then figuring out the still framework, but these are all different systems, but having those, all of those combined, again, it's like the nervous system, all the systems that you just named, but our body knows when another system's out of whack, right? It knows when something's broken. Oftentimes, if we are having a problem with cash flow, it's going to affect our Banking Yourself policy, right? And it's not the policy, it might be some other system that's impacted, or there's something else even outside of both of those things that we need to address. And so understanding who you are, understanding your nervous system financially, that can be huge. Right? And so that's kind of where we've been stepping into this and excited to see, hey, what can we do with it?
Yeah. So we'd like to invite you to take the first step. We've created a free tool called the Find Your Flow Assessment. It takes 3 minutes. It's nothing heavy. You'll discover your money flow type and how it's secretly or not so secretly running your life. But it might help you put your finger on, why do I do this the way I do this, and that kind of thing. And of course, if you do that, we'll also invite you to some more steps along the way. But this Find Your Flow assessment is the next step to start moving toward more financial confidence in your decision making, that you can align your maths, right, the logic, with your intuition, with your habits, and with the core belief system that's driving your greatest fears and deepest longings. You can find it at livecounterflow.com. That's live, L-I-V-E, counterflow, COUNTERFLOW.com. It's called the Find Your Flow Assessment. Takes 3 minutes. We have about 4 major flow archetypes, and then from there you'll be invited to go even deeper to find your financial nervous system archetype and what's driving some of who you are, so you can make sure you're working from alignment, not from what do we call it? Dysregulation. Dysregulation.
Or disalignment? Is that the word?
Yeah, you could say disalignment too. Yeah, okay. We'll make up some words.
I think it's a word. I don't know. You guys can check us.
And way to go with not being average.
We are super excited to be a part of the Not Your Average Financial community. And don't forget, subscribe. And remember to live long and profit